Hey everybody, welcome to B is for Build. I'm Chris. Today we have a very different episode than normal. It's different because I'm not actually building anything. I'm not fixing anything, and I'm a little excited about that. Today we are going to prep the car and ship it off to the wizards over at Subaru dealership so they can use their diagnostic tools to figure out why the car doesn't start. Might not be the most exciting episode ever, but it's something that I wanted to document because before this video is over, we'll have the first startup of the BRZ, and that's something to remember. So before we go off to the dealership, there's a couple things I want to do. There's some wires in the front that I want to bundle up. I think the horn needs to be attached, just so it's not dragging on the ground, and a couple odds and ends, and we'll see how much of that stuff I include. Check it out. Well, the first thing that's going to make this a little bit interesting is I just realized or remembered that I don't have an air intake put on this car yet. I don't actually even own one right now. I have some pieces and parts laying around in my basement that I was building one out of, but they're going to need one, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and throw the airflow sensor right here, and then they can just, you know, gently place it around there or blow into it when they try and start the car. Should work. And I'm realizing that there's a bit of a short or a grounded wire in here, so who knows, maybe that has something to do with what's going on. Alright, I just plugged in the airflow sensor and left it in there. The next thing that I want to fix, but I don't know if I can, is the hood pop latch mechanism is running down and it's in front of the radiator, and I think that's because I thought it went on the front of the core support. It goes on the back of the core support. And now I'm trying to fish it back out, but I don't know if there's enough space. So, I don't know how I'm going to get this thing out. Alright, well that was a really silly problem to have. After struggling with it for a really long time, I took a look at the actual latching mechanism, and you can just pull the wire off and then take it apart, put it where you want it, and run the wire back on. So that's that problem kicked. Almost. Okay, well the tow truck driver just called and he's 12 miles away, so I don't have as much time as I thought I was going to have. I'm going to bolt this somewhere a little less conspicuous, maybe down here. I don't know. Get that out of the way and then bundle a couple piles of wire, and then the car is ready to go. Alright guys, we're back. I'm sorry about the rain noise. It's actually calmed down right now, but it might get a little bit worse. It's we're in new digs. We got new digs. We are under the new B is for Build tent of adventures. It's just it's an upgrade from nothing. So, car is back from the dealership, and I'm gonna lift the hood and show you guys what we found out. Alright, so what we learned at the dealership was essentially that the engine's in good condition. When we did a compression test, the engine turns over, it's okay, but we can't get it to start. So we got electrical, we got computer problems. There's an OBD2 scanner under the dash, and the dash computer is working. So the inboard computer is working okay. The communication is broken between the inboard and the outboard computer, the ECU. So you hit the power button over there, it runs through here in a cable, through this fuse box and into the ECU, and that is the communication that is not working. Even hot wiring the ECU, adding external power to the ECU does not work. We cannot read it through the OBD2. So the dealership thinks that the problem is in this box, so I'm going to open up this box and see what I can find out. I'ma fight till the day that I die. Swear to God that I put that on my life, and I'ma try my best to love forever, true and lying. I'm a spaz, baby, I'm a night, and I'm a glad take. Alright, well I don't know how interesting this is going to be to anybody, but I gotta film something for this episode. So here is a closer look now that I have it underneath. So there's a point of impact right here, looking pretty gnarly. And then this is the other part that we already knew about, where a piece of metal flew up here and went in, and that's how we knew that there was a wire cut that Jeff and I fixed on an episode back earlier in summer, and it was hit here as well. So definitely some signs of impact. So I'm going to see what I can do to get rid of this plastic shroud blocking everything and see if I can dive into it further. This, you can't see it from there, but the main wiring harness actually is taped onto a connector that goes into a funnel that goes into this plastic box, and that is, at that connection, there's 2 break points where this box can actually kind of break apart and, not break, but unsnap itself and come off of all this wiring. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do right now. I got to cut some of this tape and get that done. I really had imagined I'd just be sitting down in a chair, wallowing over a broken Subaru all day today, and drinking beer and looking at wires. It's a little bit more work than I expected, but I'm not going to skip out on the drinking of the beer. Gotta keep our priorities in times of trouble. Aha! Sayonara, box. It's just me and the wires now. Alright, still haven't done any real work, but I did get that box away from here, so now I can really manipulate this thing and look around in it. And now it's time to sit back, drink beer, and poke at wires. Okay, little update. We might have found something that is wrong here. So if you look right here, this is bent and mangled up. If you look right here, this yellow wire leads to this electrical tape. This is the wire that Jeff and I repaired. And then, so what happened is some metal came in through here and hit here and here, roughed up this wire, and what it did was it bent this track, and this track is a piece of metal that goes all the way through this unit, and it comes back and it connects to these bigger wires, and these are either ground or power. I would assume these black ones are ground and these white ones are power. So essentially you have a power and it bolts onto a chunk of metal, and that metal flies through this whole plastic unit, and then one of those pieces of metal got hit, and it's not super thin. It does have some substance to it, and it's definitely bent. What that could be doing is there's a relay behind it, and relays have 4 prongs, and there's 3 of them in this general direction, and this could be bridging different things on that relay. If you bridge, oh no, the new B is for Build Adventure tent is leaking right on this fuse box, which is really not good. If you bridge 2 of the spots on the relay won't open and it will not let you send current through the system. So that could be an issue. Another issue could be that it's the opposite way around, and it's not able to bridge correctly. I gotta fix this water dripping onto this spot right now. So I'm gonna keep looking at this, and then I'm gonna start trying to bend it around and keep testing the car. Alright, so I've decided I'm gonna take a step back, and I'm going to take my multimeter and go turn the power onto the car, and I'm going to start checking all of these main rails in this fuse box, make sure they all have the same voltage, and get a better understanding of how the power is trying to flow through this thing. That'll help me better understand what that bent rail does and where it goes, and if that could be part of our problem. Okay, I really hate to even get my hopes up, but I did find something that I think is a little bit strange. Inside this box, which again, I'm sorry, you probably can't see, there's large gauge white wires, and then there are large gauge black wires. There are 2 black ones and 3 white ones that lead in here. When testing all the white ones, they're reading the same voltage as the battery, which is what I would expect. I would expect the white ones to be hot. The black ones I would really expect to be ground. You have to have a ground in the system, and so a lot of these things in here need to be grounded. I don't know if a fuse box normally runs directly to ground, but I think that this is a little bit strange. When I'm looking at these large gauge black wires, there's one large black one that's just pure black, and there's one black one that's got red on it, and they are both reading as hot. They have 12 amps running through them. So what that could be a sign of, and I hate even saying it because this is total bro science, I don't know much about these things, but what it could mean is that bent bridge is bridging a positive and a negative connection, and then this whole box basically is powered when we need a power and a ground going to everything. What that would mean though is if I can unbridge that connection, then the box may function like it's supposed to, and we might get life back in this car. Again, maybe really stupid to say, just because, I mean, it's a long shot, but well, I guess I said it, so I'm gonna keep that's my train of thought, that's my train of troubleshooting, and that's what I'm gonna track down now. And I'm actually just gonna start by jumping onto Google and looking at the wiring diagram and making sure that those two big black wires are supposed to be ground. All right, well, unfortunately, I got online and checked, and it does not look like these are supposed to be ground. And I also got in here a little bit more and saw that I can actually break these two pieces apart from each other, and they are they're independent. So if there was a ground in this one, it doesn't go over into this one. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I got my hopes up quite a bit, but I got a fresh beer, so I'm just gonna keep drinking and keep playing and hope that something miraculous happens. Alright guys, well, unfortunately it's probably a pretty short episode. I'm sorry about that. I'm running out of daylight. I spent a lot of hours working on this wiring harness and this fuse box, and I haven't been able to get anywhere. One thing I've realized is it's not really that damaged. The guys at the dealership said there's a computer chip in there. I cannot find a computer chip in there anywhere, and I'm not seeing one on the wiring diagram either. So this is probably repairable. Where does that leave us for the episodes? I'm going to keep spending time after work and trying to fiddle with this thing, and I'm going to be posting a lot on the forums and trying to gather more information and learn a little bit more information about the immobilizer on this car and see what that does. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this engine does have good compression and it's a good engine, but if this wiring harness has to be replaced for some reason, for some weird unknown reason, the engine's going to go with it. This engine is hard to produce a lot of horsepower with it. And if that's the case, then it's going to be time to get another engine. So a little bit of time will tell. I don't know how long it'll be until I get the next video out, so please, I'm trying to do these as fast as I can, but please hang with me. I promise it won't be more than a week. But give me a couple days, and I'm going to do my best to see what I can do on this box. It's kind of a bummer because, you know, dealership kind of checked that one off the list. They're no help. You know, other people haven't been a lot of help either. I got a mechanic, he's been helping me out coming over, and he is a big help. So hopefully myself and him together can look through this wiring diagram, figure out more about the immobilizer, and figure out what's actually going on with this thing. Because this, I went through it and it looks pretty much okay. I think that's it. So stay tuned. This is a bit of a cliffhanger, if you will. Sorry, I've been drinking. I want to get this car to work. We'll get it to work. Hopefully with this engine, but if not, we're going to get this car to work with an engine. Stay tuned. Check us out, bsforbuild.com. We have a shop coming shortly. I don't know how long it'll be, but we're going to have a shop hopefully in time for Christmas. If you're watching this in the future, there's always a Christmas coming up later. Anyways, I'm hoping to get some BS for Build swag for you guys in that shop. Check us out, bsforbuild.com, facebook.com/bsforbuild. Stay up to date with all the latest and greatest in the news. I try and post every other day or so about what's going on with the cars. And Instagram #BisForBuild. Thank you guys so much for all the support. If you watched the last Camaro video, it was just before this. I filmed that like last week. We hit 10,000 followers and subscribers, and like we're almost doubled that already in the next few days. So the channel's growing really fast, and I'm really happy that you guys are all part of it, and that's really, really, really cool. And I'm super stoked about that. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and cross your fingers for some life in this BRZ.